Hi, I'm Zoe, one of the speech and language therapists with the Communicate team, and I'm here to talk you through this week's weekly chat challenge, which includes using paper. So we're going to start by thinking about our preschool children and how we can develop some of the early skills that are involved with speech and language. So things like attention and listening skills, turn-taking skills, and some early kind of vocabulary modelling. So to start with, if there's 2 or 3 of you, have some aeroplanes ready-made, because often children at this age, their attention span's not long enough, and they haven't got the skills to kind of help with making them. So have them ready-made and introduce them as aeroplanes. Have a go at just letting your child play with the aeroplanes as they want to. So follow their lead, and it gives you the opportunity then to model any language that they're doing, commenting on what they're doing. And then have a go at taking away all the other aeroplanes and keeping just the one. So at this point is where you're going to start to take turns with each other. And these turn-taking skills are really important for kind of life in general, but especially for language learning, about in conversation when we can go from one to the other. Have a go at ready, steady, go activities. So you're going to do ready, steady, go, and then fly your aeroplane. Get your child to have a go. Each time you do it, try and extend the pause that you have before go, and listen out for any vocalizations or gestures that your child might use to indicate go. That's great for kind of cause and effect skills, and extending their attention by making that pause gap just that little bit longer. So as children enter their first few years at school, their language skills are developing every day. They're understanding longer instructions, they're able to use more words, and their speech sounds are often improving. This paper aeroplane activity gives us the opportunity to look at various areas of language. So things like pronouns, you can have the aeroplanes each. If there's boys and girls, you can talk about he is using it, she is flying the aeroplane, they are flying the planes together. And you can look at different concepts as well. So things like big and little, long or short. This plane's going over the chair, this plane's going under the chair. And those concepts are really important as children go through school. Something else you might have heard of, information carrying words, which is the term that we use to look at how many keywords a child can understand at one time. So for this to happen, you have to always have alternative options, but you can give instructions like find me the big spotty plane. So at this point you need a small and a big spotty plane and a small and a big stripy plane, for example. Children at this age often like decorating and colouring in, so you could spend some time before you do those information carrying word activities decorating the planes together. Gives you the opportunity for more descriptive language, colour, vocabulary, decorating them, practicing writing some letters maybe. So that's a great activity to do for that age, and then you can have fun with them. So as children progress through primary school, we're expecting their language skills to continue to expand and for them to be able to develop their narrative skills and sequencing skills, which helps them to kind of take part in everyday conversation with their friends and adults. So we talk about sequencing skills, and this is an important skill to be able to develop. So what you could do with the paper aeroplane activity is take it in turns to make the aeroplanes step by step, and as you're doing that you can take photos on your phone or iPad of you making the aeroplane step by step, and then looking over those with your child afterwards and getting them to think about which one's first, which one's next, what happened then. Those connectives, that type of language can also be modelled at this point, and you can encourage them to talk about that, use those as well. Further concepts can be modelled at this stage, so you can do things like start and finish line with the paper aeroplanes. You can talk about whether the aeroplanes are heavy or light. You can say whether they're moving towards or away from something. So the language at this point is becoming a bit more complex. And again, as they get into secondary school, their language is also developing and they're able to follow instructions which are far more complex. So make this paper aeroplane activity more complex for them. So set up some sort of barrier in the middle of a table so that you can't see what each other's doing, and you can take it in turns to give instructions for making the aeroplane. So fold the paper in half, bring the top corner into the middle, all of those sorts of steps, and see what you end up with at the end. See if you end up with the same aeroplane, see who's followed what instructions well, and where the breakdown might have been if they're not the same. On YouTube, there are lots of tutorials for different designs of paper aeroplanes. So get your secondary age child to get on YouTube and have a go at making different ones. You could then have a whole load of aeroplanes that you can use language to compare and contrast them. Try encouraging the child to maybe write a pros and cons list of which aeroplane they like best, and why, and which one went the furthest, which one was the best design. So there are lots of ways that we can use paper and paper aeroplanes to develop language, and we hope that you'll have a go at some of these activities.